Hi, and welcome to my second Photoshop tutorial. So in this one, I'm just going to show you some basic cut-in and masking properties, and that's just the basic stereotype of what Photoshopping means. So a lot of the time around common areas and social media, you'll hear people say, Photoshop this person in, or Photoshop this person out. Cut that, cut that. It's essentially taking something from one image and added in it to another one. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just select them both this way and drag them over the Photoshop window. And when you let go, it should open both of them. And there you go. So you'll see there's two tabs here. That's because you have multiple Photoshop pictures opened. And currently they're just in their standard format, so JPEG. But if you save as, you'll be able to save it as a project file eventually. So this is my best friend Braden, and this is a fun shot we took at Wascana Trails a few years ago. What I think though is the energy he shows in this image is the energy that he loves camping. So I think that's going to be the energy of just being out camping, being in the wilderness. Just awesome energy. The idea is we're going to put Braden in this area. So if we focus on Braden's image here, there's a couple of different tools we're going to use for this. So if you look on the left side, you're going to find one section that has the magic wand and quick selection tool. These are honestly some of the main tools you're going to use. Quick selection, magic wand. They're very powerful tools, but you'll notice that no matter which one of these tools you select, at the top there's going to be a select subject and select mask. These two buttons, and these are the keys. If you can use these buttons, if they show up, they will get you a bunch of time saved. So I'm gonna just have the quick selection tool opened. If you were just to use the quick selection tool, if I just click around here, you'll see I'm gonna click there. It selects that area. I can click here and add more to it and add more. And technically you could select Braden this way and it would work for the most part. And then if it ever overshoots a bit, you can go up here and you'll see there's a positive brush and a negative brush. The negative brush removes from the selection. The positive brush adds to the selection. And so this is an easy way to just quickly select stuff and then deselect stuff and make a quick cut. And it will work. But I'm going to show you what select subject does. So I'm going to quickly go select and deselect. And instead, if I go select subject and then I click on Braden, you'll see it'll automatically recognize Braden and it'll try to find the edges and the boundaries. And for the most part, it found them all. And if you want to check, you're not sure, you can go down to the corner here and you can switch the zoom. And we can look closer. You can also use the zoom tool or the shortcut for zoom. And I'm going to say I'm pretty happy with that. The boundaries are pretty good around it. And so we have this selection here. But what we want to do is we want the background to disappear, right? So what we can do is when you have something selected like this, if you go to the bottom right, you'll see there's this little square with a circle in the middle. That is the mask button. And when you click add mask and you have a selection, it's going to make everything around it disappear. Everything outside of the selection. Just like that. So you just click add mask and it masks off everything outside of your selection and you just are left with your selection. And now you can see we have Braden left as is. Now that we have Braden masked off, I'm going to take Kinsmere Lake and I'm going to insert it in. Another option of what you could do is you could copy Braden and paste him into another file. But in this case, I think this is going to work best. So I'm going to just increase the size of this layer so it's the same size as my canvas. Just like that. And bam, we're all ready, right? Except Braden's gone. This is where layers come in. So on the right side, you can see I have Kinsmere Lake and I have layer 0. We want to move Kinsmere Lake to the bottom so that Braden shows up on top. And ta-da, you have Brayden there. Now, some things you might want to do. If you think Brayden's a bit big, if you want to change the size of the subject you added, you can just click the Move tool. This is usually my go-to. And when you have the Move tool opened, if I just click on Brayden, you'll see the layers selected and Brayden selected here. You have the option to actually shrink or grow using the Move tool. And so I can shrink or grow him that way, just like that. Maybe I want to move him over a bit, just like that. And I'm pretty happy with that. So once you're ready, once you're done with your changes in the Move tool, at the top you'll have this stop sign and this check mark. The stop undoes any transformations you did. The check mark confirms them. So if you commit it, that means the transformation's done. So something you might want to do to Brayden in this case is you can see that the sun in this image was on the left side because we have the sunset there, but Brayden, the sun was on the right side in his image. So you might want to flip him so the sun looks right. So I'm just going to select the layer, and then if you go to edit, you'll see a menu that says transform, and this gives you different ways to kind of affect the layer. So there's scale, rotate, but the big one here is we can flip horizontal or flip vertical. So in this case, I want to flip him left to right, so that's horizontal. So I'm going to click flip horizontal. And that looks a bit better. I might move him over a bit now that I've flipped him. Or maybe he's in the lake. Maybe we'll do that. Put him there. And then the other thing is, maybe you want to change the colors a bit. Make it more sunsetty. So if I click on Brayden again, and I go over to the adjustments panel here, I could click on, say, color balance. And in here you can see you can change cyan, red, you can change the colors. So I might add a bit more yellow in there and a bit more red. And that's just going to give that nice sunsetty feel. Maybe some magenta. And I'm liking that. So I'm gonna, once you're done with that, you just kind of can click out. Now you'll notice that the change in the color balance affected the background as well. If you don't want it to affect the background, once you've got in the color balance and Brayden the way you want it, you can right click on that layer and you can click merge down. You can also find this under the the layer menu, and it'll be at the bottom. But if you merge down, that'll merge the adjustment layer into layer 0. And so then the adjustments are only affecting Brayden, and we're keeping the normal adjustments on the top layer. The background layer. And so that's everything, kind of. That's just a little idea of, I cut something out, we pasted it in somewhere other place, and then we changed the colors a bit and perspective of it to make it work in this image. So now we have Brayden at Waskesiu in Kinsmere Lake, whereas before he was just sitting in the middle of Buffalo Pound or Wascana Trails. So this is the example of the classic Photoshop and cut and adjust techniques.